So this deck is Spellboost DShift Rune. It's a very interesting deck. One of the most unique decks in all Shadowverse. It's existed since the game has come out, since the very beginning, pretty much. It got some upgrades, new additions in Darkness Evolved, which is the previous expansion. In Bahamut, it didn't really get anything new. All the additions to the class are better fit for the other archetypes like Tempo and Earthright. But anyway, this is a combo deck, and combo decks generally the way they win is they have a certain combination of cards that when you have them all in your hand at once and under some kind of condition, you either win the game instantly or you're able to do something obscene like kill your opponent one turn, or do something, make yourself invincible, blah blah blah, something crazy that lets you win on the spot. In this case, the combo revolves around this card, which is Dimension Shift. It's a gold card. And this card is pretty much Timewalk. Gain an extra turn after this one. And you'll see that, it's 18 cost, so you can't play this normally, but it has a spell boost effect. So the spell boost effect makes its cost go down by 1 for every spell you cast. So, obviously, making your opponent forcibly skip his turn is really powerful. There's all sorts of broken things that happen when you make people skip turns. And in order to make Dimension Shift work, you have to run a lot of spells. And it being a combo deck, you also have to run a lot of cycle. Luckily for Runecraft, there's a lot of cycle, and a lot of spells too. But the main combo involves Dimension Shift and this card, Flame Destroyer. So Flame Destroyer is a 10 cost 7/7. Not that great looking at it, but then you notice the spell boost effect. Subtract 1 as its spell boost cost. So, every spell you cast, if this is in your hand, it gets cheaper. So the main idea is you want to get both these cards, Destroyer, Shift into your hand as soon as possible. Cast a lot of spells, cycle through your deck. A lot of these spells are removals, so you can, keep your opponent's board clean pretty well. Get these two cheap enough until you have enough for a 1 or 2 turn kill. Usually what you want is, after some chip damage, then you have either 2 Destroyers, 1 Shift, or you have 2 Shifts, 1 Destroyer, or, even up to 3. 3 guarantees a 1 turn kill. And then if it's not enough, maybe you might have a Destroyer plus some other follower, like a Golem or a Levy. So you'll notice from this image here, this deck is mostly spells. There's really not that many followers. You have this Destroyer, the Merlin here, the Golem, the Levy, and that's it. I mean, actually, there's an Ogler here too, but that's not run in every version. It's just having in mind. So, other important things about this deck is the legendary. This is Merlin. So you can see she costs 4, and she has a 3/2 stats, which is quite awful. Terrible stats for a 4-drop, but she makes up for it with her effect. So when you play her, she puts a random spell with spell boost from your deck into your hand, and she has an ongoing effect that whenever she attacks, she spell boosts her whole hand. But not only that, if you evolve her, she puts another spell with spell boost into your hand. So what that means is, if you still haven't evolved and you play her and evolve her, then she draws 2 cards for you essentially. And then if you attack, which you will most likely when you evolve her, then she also spell boosts your whole hand. So she's one of the most important cards in this deck. Kind of a draw engine, along with all the other draw this deck has. And so along with that, then you also have a bunch of cards that cycle through your deck. This combination of cards is very strong for cycling. You have the Insight, 1 cost draw card, Magic Missile, very similar to Shiv, the rogue spell from Hearthstone. You have this spell, Kaleidoscopic Glow, very flexible. It's like Sap, you bounce a target, but you can only target things that cost 2 play points or less. Also draws a card. One thing that's really cool about this card is that you can target your own stuff too, not just enemies. So sometimes you might want to bounce your own golems or your own levies. Then we also have Sorcery Cache, this spell boosted card, in your hand 2 times, which really means that it's spell boosted 3 times, because this counts as a spell. And then finally Fate's Hand. This is a spell that draws 2 cards, but it has a spell boost effect where it gets cheaper by 1 for every boost. So it's very, very easy to make this thing cost 0. So, this is a combo deck. Sometimes when you go online you ask people about this deck, they call it a control deck, but I feel like that's incorrect, because a real control deck should have a or it should have very strong anti-aggro tools, right? But that's not the case with this deck. This deck has very, very little in the way of defense. Turns out that aggro is the biggest counter to this deck. This deck does very well against everything except for aggro. So yeah, it's not control, it's combo. One of the main appeals of this deck is the fact that it's very, very cheap. You look here, you only need 1 legendary. Merlin is the only legendary you need for this deck. I have 3 in my version of the deck, but I know that some people even run 2 and still have success with it. So that's pretty good. And when it comes to gold cards, you know, you only need Shift, which is a definite 3 of. You need Levy, which I have 2, but some people have 3. Some people even have 1, but I feel like that's a mistake. Either 2 or 3. And that's it. Another gold card that some people like running is Fire Chain. Now, Fire Chain's a really, really good card, but it doesn't really work in this meta. It's a little bit too slow. Along with that, sometimes you might want to tech your deck a little bit. So, common tech cards, like big removals. So there's 2 big removals mainly that people use. One of them I already mentioned, which was the Fire Chain. The other big removal is this one, Fiery Embrace. So this spell just kills anything. Doesn't matter how much life it has, it kills it. But it has a spell boost effect, which gets cheaper for every boost. So I like this spell a lot. The main reason I like it a lot is because it gets cheaper, which means that it could potentially be a 0 mana card. And, you know, anything that's 0 cost in this deck, like, you know, Fate's Hand and Fiery Embrace, if it's 0 cost, that essentially means it's a free boost to your hand at any given moment. And that's really important, because, you know, having 1 boost, the difference of 1 boost can sometimes mean, yeah, it can sometimes mean the difference between you winning or losing. So that's why it's important. Another card that I don't have in my deck, but a lot of people run, is the 3-cost one, Summon Ice Form. So what Summon Ice Form does is it summons a 5/5 ward, but that ward can't do anything, you can't attack with it, and it has an effect where, you know, after you cast it, then it just instantly dies at the beginning of your next turn. So it's just a purely defensive card. But it's really, really good, because, you know, buying an extra turn is sometimes the difference between winning or losing. And there's other tech cards like, you know, Angelic Barrage, which you might want to consider depending on the meta you're seeing. You know, I know some people run Piercing Rune also, even though I don't like it in this kind of deck, but you might find some success. But yeah, that's about it for tech cards. But yeah, like I said earlier, this deck is really fun to play. One of the most unique decks in the entire game, and it teaches you a lot about sequencing, because this is a combo deck and it has a lot of draw, so you really, really have to think through your turns, not just about thinking the current turn, but, you know, thinking several turns ahead. If everything goes well, like, you know, you're cycling and you get all the combo pieces in hand, usually you can get the full combo assembled on turn 8. If you're really lucky, you can get it on turn 7, but that doesn't happen very often. Turn 8, 9 is usually the point where you have it. But sometimes, you know, even with all the draw in the world here, sometimes you still get unlucky, and, you know, you just either never draw your shifts or you never draw your destroyers. And that's where the difficulty of this deck really comes through, because You have to constantly think about your win conditions and your outs, because if you never draw your shifts, and you're up against an aggro deck, or you do draw your shifts, but it's like way too late, it's like there's no possible way you can win without it. Then you have to think about your outs, how can you win without the shifts? So that's why this deck is interesting. It really forces you to think about your win conditions, and how to win when things don't go well. When things go perfectly, it's really easy to play, but that doesn't always happen. Alright, well, we're keeping this for sure. This is really iffy. There are certain things I don't want to bounce, so I'll toss it out. Oh, it's Earthright. Okay. This card's really good, but it's probably more important to minimize damage. Normally you wouldn't want to bounce that, but it's gotta stay alive. Okay, I'll just cash. There we go. That's a good card to have. Ooh, wow. This is a cool deck. I like this deck a lot. So, I can't clear everything here. If I leave this, there's a chance he might evolve it next turn. Then if that happens to 5/6, can I kill that? Yes. I have this. I think this is the play. So we'll deal with the witch next turn. I mean, I can't deal with it this turn anyways, right? Well, I mean, I could have done Levy, sorcery this, attack that, but I think it's a weak play. Oh my god. I might lose this. It's a lot of stats. Really? Let me see. That's fine. Alright, so then we can Merlin next turn then. Man, if he gets Ancient Alchemist, oh god, there it is. This is gonna be a hard game. So I have to hope that my Merlin pulls a Wind Blast to guarantee a board clear. Even after that happens, he is almost guaranteed to either play Juno or just 3 Guardian Golems next turn. There it is.
我が作戦をあなたの死が見える。
Alright,
あなたの死が見える。
so then...
これで決めるわ。
I
Let's see, 5, 10, 0. I just have to get through the wall. If I can do that, then I can win. It's gonna be tough. Luckily, I have another Merlin. Yeah, this is hard. I don't know how I'm gonna win this. That's good. Draw first. Ooh, that's good. It's very good. Is it 2? Okay, well, we could shift now. Let me see. 9. I think it's okay to wait. How many cards do I have left? 16. Wow, double witch. Ooh, perfect. That's exactly what I needed. Okay, so I think we have it now. So the first thing we should do is shift, get 0 cost, and alright, we got it. We totally got it. It's over. What's the best way to sequence this? Okay, that first. Two, 6. Yeah, we could do it. 2, 4. That's good. Oops, what was that? Okay, so now we have Embrace, and oh my god, that's so good. Three, 4. Alright, we got it. Game over. Whew, that was tough. That matchup is usually very, very good for shift. So you can see I was pretty close to losing there. He had a pretty strong curve starting from turn 4. That might be okay. Alright, there we go. So we got the 2 most important cards in the Haven matchup, Shift and Glow. That's good. That's good. That means now we have a proactive turn 2 play. So I'm not going to bounce that. Because I need to wait for the beast called Arya if he has it. If he plays nothing, okay. If he plays nothing, then instead of bouncing this, I'm going to cash. Wow, really? Okay, so now I can deny the draw. Cash? This must be Seraph. He's playing really, really passively. I'm just gonna focus on recycling. There's no need to fight for the board right now, since he's not pressuring me at all. Sure. That's a good draw. Fate's End. So I need to get the full combo ready by turn 8, because it's almost guaranteed he's playing Seraph. Luckily we have everything already, just gotta discount it. He's not gonna kill me. I think I can take 4 a turn. Be okay with it. This is good too. I'm gonna draw first actually. That's really good. Switcher. Tribunal. Okay. Race. Alright, let's see. So we need to have it next turn. So next turn, we have Shift and 2 Destroyers. No, we can't do that. It's 613, so it's not enough. Five, 0, 2, 7, that's enough. Okay. Okay, so now we win. If he plays Seraph, we win. Alright, game over. We did it! Let me just make sure again. Yep. Wait. 4, 1, 4. Wow. We have the actual full combo. Unbelievable. This is ridiculous. 50. So this is Blood, kind of a scary matchup, because you have no idea what it is. If it's aggro, heavily unfavored. If it's control, heavily favored with this deck. Magic Missile is good to keep, as well as Wind Blast. Picked up a Golem there, so that's good. Gives us a nice proactive turn 2 play. So that's really, really bad. Because one of this deck's weaknesses is against aggro decks, and the best possible play for an aggro deck is to turn 1, play a 1-drop, and more specifically play a 1-drop that's 1-2 in stats, because that means you don't have a single card that efficiently deals with this. Urius is a problem. No efficient way to deal with it, so we play that, take 1 damage. So he's curving out like a champ. So we have a couple choices here. We picked up the Glow, which is one of the best possible cards in this matchup. We could use the Glow on the Urius, or the Wraith, but it's not really as good. But if we use the Glow, we can't do anything else, and we're forced to trade in the Golem with the bait, which creates a bat, and so he has 2 bodies left on board. So the best defensive play here is to Wind Blast, which should be boosted, I think. 2, yeah. Use the Wind Blast on the bait to remove it without summoning a bat, and then trade into the Ambling Wraith. And so that way there's only 1 body left on board. Yep. So now we get to our evolve turn, pick up a Merlin. So with this deck, the standard turn 4 going second play is to play Merlin and evolve attack. But since this is an aggro deck, it's really important that we try to keep his board clean, because if we leave even one thing alive, it's almost guaranteed that he's going to evolve it next turn to push more damage. So, if this is a non-aggro matchup, Merlin evolve would be the play here. But it's not happening. This is guaranteed to be aggro blood. So the best play is to do something that clears his entire board. That's actually a misplay. I'm not sure why I did that. It might be because this is a replay, so I'm pretty sure I roped this turn because I was thinking about the Merlin. But yeah, that's the wrong play. I think what I should have done instead was use the Glow. Use the Glow on the Urius, and then play Levy Evolve, because that still does the same thing. It clears his board. Well, it bounces the Levy, or it bounces the Urius, but it still clears his board. The difference is that if I played Kaleidoscope and then Levy Evolve, I would still be able to clear his board, but the difference is that I end up drawing an extra card, which is better, I think. So I'm not sure why I made this play. I could have also preserved the Crimson Sorcery too with the other play. So yeah, that was a misplay. I don't know what else to do there. 2 Uriuses. Luckily we have Magic Missile to deal with that. Yep. Magic Missile, Kaleidoscope. Then we picked up an Insight, so we could play that. And then get to play a free Ogler. Implanter is a really big problem. We have removal for it though. Okay, so here's the thing. In this turn, we absolutely have to get rid of the Implanter. There's a couple of ways we could do it. But one thing you should notice is that it's turn 6, and we're up against an aggro deck. And we still have not drawn Dimension Shift. So that means it's pretty much impossible that we're going to get the full combo off. Because it's an aggro blood, so the game is guaranteed to be over within 2 turns. So there's no way we have enough time to get the combo. So since we have a Flame Destroyer that's already pretty cheap, the best play here is to tempo out the Flame Destroyer. And we'll use that to kill off the Implanter. So that way, because we tempo out the Flame Destroyer, we just like force the aggro blood player to have an option. So yeah, you better have Dance of Death, or you might just lose right here. He has no more revolves too, so he has to use a spell to get rid of Destroyer. Oh, I misplayed. I should have played Insight first. Alright, so now we have this really big board. It's also safe against Demonic Storm because I have 2 dudes who have 4 health. Yep. That's game.
わしはしがない魔法使いじゃよ。
ダメ。ぴょんぴょん跳ねてかわいいでしょ。
僕に逆らうつもりなの？想像以上に誤算。
手加減なしよ。本気で行くわ。
家族を守るために。
これがあなたの運。これで決めるわ。円卓の騎士に我が作戦を。全ては定め。
戦うのってやばいよね。
我が暗黒の翼落としてみよう。
これで決める。
この一層止めてみせろ。敵ながら見事だ。
わしはしがない魔法使いじゃよ。若い頃を思い出すわい。
一気に駆け抜けるよ。
覚悟はいいか。
私たちならきっと超えられるよね。そんな。
がない魔法使いじゃよ。ずいぶんお見通しじゃった。
我が暗黒の翼落としてみよ
終わりだ。
この一層止めてみせろ。想像以上ね。誤差よ